I brought back Super BARCH with this new equipment, which is the Warden Torch. Now we did it with the maximum level and the level 1. So let's dive in and see how powerful this army really is. Here we are, guys, and this is the army. Obviously you can skip through the chapters of this video, but I'll be explaining this army and I'm really excited because a lot of you guys know me as back in the day we used to do the Super BARCH attacks. And obviously in TH17 there is an issue with the Super BARCH because the BARCH, the arch type, is where you had to do the super archers, but we technically couldn't. So what I tried to do was to sit down and think what was wrong with this army that couldn't perform in Town Hall 16 or 17, whereas the army was major, like itself was just equipments and heroes in general. But why with more and more powerful equipment the army went lower and lower? What was the issue? And I think the Warden Heroic Torch fixes this. This is why in this video obviously I did a maxed version of this, and also I've done a level 1 version, so you can actually see, yes, it does make a difference between the max and level 1. But that's the thing, even with the level 1 you can triple and actually hit any type of base. So that's why we have multiple variety. Now obviously the major part of this in general, I would say, strategy is the Royal Champion work, because I wanted to adapt the Super BARCH to the current meta. You can't go back, like for example if you want to do any smash army, you technically really can't do it without a fireball. Obviously you can, but it's just a bit weaker, so you need to adapt to the newer I would say equipments. That's why we have the Royal Champion charge with the haste wall. I do have skeleton spell, and the earthquake will be used for the RC haste wall into the RC charge. And for the army itself you will see soon in the video, but I'm just so excited, man, because I really love this army and the way it works is just amazing. So let's dive into this video. So first base, we have this diamond layout right here, and whenever this space is open, guys, obviously not a lot of you know, but you want to go from the 6 o'clock, which is the lower side of the screen, and dive into wherever and whatever defense you can get in the first or maybe even the second compartment, how much ever the invisibility spell kind of allows you to. And guys, my RC charge is not the best, and you're gonna see why, because obviously I haven't been pushing, I'm not doing any really attacks in general, just recording stuff for the content. But this is why, like, if you don't practice, you will even, like, you can be the best RC charge attacker in the world, but you will lose that momentum. That's why you always need to put the practice. So now we got 6 extra invis, as I told you, whatever, how much ever the invisibility allows you to. Usually, a lot of you know me, I always keep one invisibility spell, but in this army I technically never really do, to be honest, because RC can go so much deeper in general. But sometimes if I see, yes, there is just really no value, then I will not use it. In this case, she's just hitting ice golems and it's gonna be frozen. What's the point of another invis? So let's keep it. Now the attack here starts. You need wall breakers, you need ice golems in front of heavy damage, king, queen, warden, obviously the queen ability because it's giant, and 2-3 healers, basically 3, and then you have the extra 2 healers with 2 mini warden. Now the next part of the base is where you want to cut these heroes into the compartments with the super barbarians. The people who've done the super BARCH in the past, they know how this goes. Now the good thing about this army is that the moment you do the 2-layer wall breaker, you don't need wall breakers anymore. This was one of the issues why the super BARCH couldn't continue. Obviously not the super archer pots, because a lot of poison and the town hall poison itself was dropping, but the warden ability gives you that walking through walls and not having to worry about time when your heroes and troops are slowing down in general, because you're just spinning around the base. Now this is where obviously a lot of the things will happen at the same time with the funneling and the barbarians, and you need to watch out the heroes. I will explain them more in the next hit, but as you can see, guys, we got 3 heroes alive, which is obviously the whole entire army. There is no army, there is heroes going through the entire base. One of them being the RC acting as the archer, the super archer part of the super BARCH. and the other 3 are just crushing through the base. You need to control them and make sure you do your best to maneuver them around. But let's move on to the second hit. Up next, we're gonna have a double invis, because obviously a lot of people actually don't know how to hit this, and I will give you a very nice tip with the RC charge without using the skeleton and invisibility method. So as you can see, there is an air defense on top of the wizard tower and there's a mortar below. This is where you want to drop the RC. She will activate the invis and move upwards towards the air defense. This is the time where the invisibility will then be off, so the RC comes back and you can pop her ability. Simple as this. No extra stuff needed, no crazy stuff needed, no redirection with the invisibility. It naturally just happens. So have this in thought whenever you see a double invis base. As you can see, the mortar below hand had a defense right next to it, so we didn't go for a lower side RC drop onto the wizard tower, because you would choose the lower mortar and not the top air defense. So that way, actually any defense connected to it, it would just drag the RC away from the invisibility. But the air defense was alone. This is the mistake on the base building part. But as I told you, how much ever invisibility you can do, go into the core. You can see me, like, I'm not the best RC charge right now. Like, I haven't been doing any RC charge in the past, and recently I just done a kind of root rider video on the blueprint and a few videos on my own channel. So I'm just not in shape, man, but I'm still getting nice value. This base, we just got a lot more than the previous one and the ones in the future. But look at this, Ice Golem Headhunters, all the army down. Don't forget the wallbreakers, and also if you see there is so much damage, try to deploy the troop launcher a bit higher up so it doesn't be inside the poison of the town hall. Skeleton spells and barbarians with headhunters to try and clear this area, and this is where you shouldn't panic. Let your army decide where they want to go, and if the king goes out, you can redirect him back into the base. If the queen doesn't follow, you can pop the warden ability, and this will catch them all together moving towards the base. You can see how these wallbreakers are giving access layer by layer the moment things are separated. So once you see the queen is left, the king is right, everything is separated, either pop the warden ability and bring them together, or do the wallbreaker trick with multiple wallbreakers, and you will open a lot of compartments. And as you can see, hasting through the base again, back end, and we haven't even been touched by the defenses to our heroes. That's the thing with this army. That's why it was so powerful back in Town Hall 15, and that's why in the Town Hall 15 World Championship, the highest clans in the world, the best players, were using this method of controlling their heroes. No matter with super archers, with super minions, with blizzard, with the type of thing they also did with like the queen charge method. But overall, this army is just bringing back so many memories. Attack number 3, here we go, and we have a rage invis base. Now obviously, bringing a new army, I have to bring you guys all the base styles possible with the rings, diamonds, box, core town halls, rage invis, double invis, anything you want, it's in this video. So on these bases, I do one thing, and it's very simple. I do my root rider approach, whereas I make the base into the half. So that means getting this little compartment right here and giving the RC whichever side she wants to go, and just follow and go with the flow, no matter how much further she gets, because obviously it's not a root rider attack, so you have 10 invisibilities, so she is gonna get more. This means if there is a chance for her to go to the core, go for it. This means, as you can see, there is a mortar and ricochet cannon connected together, but no other defense on the outside. So if you redirect her, she will go to the core and then activate the invis, come back outside, do some more damage, and then she might have a chance to go back in the core. It's not necessarily, you don't have to always have this exact approach. You don't always have to go into the core. As you can see, I'm trying to get the spell towers, but as I said, you don't have to. Now, on the other side, this is where things happen. Because it's an air defense, you can't deploy the queen and popper ability, the healers will get targeted, and you also can't deploy the warden because the bat and the sneezy basically will get targeted. So doing the ice golem, king, and all the troops and stuff first, then going with the funnel troops, obviously as you can see now with the barbarians, skeleton spell, headhunter, trying to funnel these troops, and now with the wallbreakers we can have a chance to go into the core. But if things don't go into the core, it's not the end of the world. You do have the warden ability. Look at my king. I'm trying to get him back into the action with funneling with the barbarians and popping the warden ability. This makes sure anything behind the barbarian king, like the queen for example, she's gonna go to the core, or the giant, or anything else really, your giants from the troop thrower, and the king and the troops can just walk around. That's the beauty of this equipment, whereas it can be very effective through so many layers by the time you pop that ability. Get that king ability to open things up and also connect the queen with your main army, which there is no army, it's just king and warden. So connect them together. Always have barbarians for the back end. You're gonna see in later attacks what happens if you invest so many barbarians at the beginning. And yes, we crushed the base again with 3 heroes alive. Let's move on. So up next, I really wanted to show you what happens when things go wrong. So the RC approach on this base, I want to do kind of similar because it's a core town hall. We need like I would say half the base again. Like I don't know how to exactly put this in English, but it's like making the base into 2 mirrors, and you're basically grabbing whatever is in between those mirrors. In this case, it's the multi inferno. And now again, you go on vibe, go with the flow, how much ever the RC goes. Now this base had a lot better outer defenses, which means look how far the RC is from the town hall. Look how much further she's getting lured away. And I really wanted to double in this redirector, but unfortunately the ricochet cannon, I just kind of missed it. As I told you, I'm not the best RC charge attacker right now. So yeah, we not gonna go for the town hall, but the value is decent. It's a very good value for the 10 invisibility spells. And now is where I really wanted to grab the multi-archer tower, just so it's not at the back end, and maybe some extra defense. Again, now we're gonna dive into the other side where the RC didn't go. It's the exact side opposite of the RC went. So now with the ice golem, we can have some barbarians, and if you see there is so many damage on the outside to funnel the heroes, don't do it just yet. Let the heroes go in by the first few. Like look at me right now with these barbarians. These are the useless ones. They do nothing because they're getting cooked by the ricochet cannon. This is a difference between Town Hall 15 and Town Hall 17 that you need to watch out. There are ricochet cannons and multi-archer towers on the outer layer. So wait for them to target your troops. Once they do, you can pop the warden ability and then go back to the troop deployment of the super barbarians to try to funnel and take down the outer defenses. So that way, because the warden ability is not really controllable, your heroes don't just walk out. As you can see, these barbarians are trying to do their best to keep the king inside the base, even though the warden ability is very uncontrollable. If the town hall stays up, it's simple, just drop some barbarians. But as you can see, we got so many troops, queen at full HP and barbarians to fully send for the town hall. But always, there is something always going for it. Don't stress it. Don't mess up later parts of your attack because the town hall hasn't gone down yet. You can always go back for it. There is always access to it. And with the king earthquake boots, you can always open the compartments for the queen. So even later at the end of the attack, she will always go into it. And yeah, this one, we're going to be closer on time and a bit less on troops, but the Electro Titan is somehow strong and powerful, same as the action figure. They're going crazy with some super giants in front of the queen and absolutely crushed again. Let's move on and see what happens if you use a level 1 heroic torch. So we have a double rage. I wanted to make the base as heavily damaged as possible. Now again, these are the bases with the box that I do the root runner approach, whereas I go opposite side, make the base into half. I'm not going into rage towers, even though I have 10 invisibility spell. I might be the only person in the world who doesn't charge rage towers with this many invisibility. So many people want to get so much value. I'm here to show you, even if the damage is maximum, even if you don't get either side of the rage towers, you still gonna like triple. That's how powerful the army is, and that's why I'm happy introducing this army for you guys to use. Obviously the link will be down below in the description, but again, as you can see, just like the last one, RC chose one path. So that means you're already thinking of dropping the heroes on the top left side of the screen. The other path that the RC didn't go. You can see how bad I am with the invis drops, guys, and it's actually crazy. Like, it's really crazy. Now, because I know there is a lot of damage in the base and we didn't get many, we are going to keep one invisibility spell. Going with the Ice Golem, Queen, Warden, King, popping the Queen ability, healers, loons, and the mini Warden. I just might have wrapped there, I don't know what's going on, but a nice little wallbreaker on this side because we don't technically need to wallbreak the Expo and the Air Defense. Those wallbreakers that open the wall are from the troop launcher, by the way, but you can see the moment the King is nearly going in, we start the funnel. We're not diving too quickly for the funnel, and now it's where I rage on Warden ability through the first rage tower. You want to get through the base as quickly as possible. Secondly, you can see how the Queen is on her own path. She's so different, and this is where the level 1 is gone. You are done. Basically, it was just like nothing, right? And this is why I wanted to bring it, because even if you don't have the equipment, this army could still work. But if you have it, even upgrade it to level 10 or 7 or 9, any of those levels, if you even have it more, it's way better. But you will actually use it so nice going through all the core, reaching the other side of the base in that exact second. King ability to try to narrow down the Queen pathing into the next compartment. As you can see, guys, all we're doing is deploying everything at the beginning and then funneling them into the next compartments and compartments throughout after each other. You can always use at least 3 wall breakers at the beginning if you need to, but if you see there is so many layers, just pop the Warden ability or the King ability, so you just open everything. And for the back end, always keep a wall breaker and some barbarians and headhunters. You can see how useful they are, opening the last compartment with the barbarian here, and that's basically what the miner is for. In case there is something left on the other side of the wall, the miner can easily go and grab it. And yeah, I mean, this army is just so enjoyable. It brings so many memories, and I'm really glad I could actually make it work again. I tried so many ways with the Super Archer clone, it just wasn't it, and this one just has the modern version of the Super Barch. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this. See you soon, guys, later. Take care and peace.